otu, abụọ, atọ, anọ, ise, isii, asaa, asatọ. Ndị be anyị nnọọ unu afụgo Heartland nke asatọ dị n'ala Asaba. Bịabanụ.
Baby, you never know until we try this slow. I've been around the world. You're the only woman, the only woman.
Beautiful Monday. Oh, did I say Monday? Oh no, this is Wednesday. Wow. What would have made me to say Monday? It means that my Mondays are days I usually look forward to. So this is a way to just debunk that ideology that Mondays are usually boring. Mondays. So if you're part of those people that wake up every Monday morning and you are tired of your Monday morning, it means you need to hustle. You need to you need to still work hard. You need to really, 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 really work hard. So if you are that type that when you wake up every Monday morning, you are always tired. You don't look forward to Monday mornings. And you don't look forward to Monday morning. It means you need to double your hustle. But if you're out there, you love your Monday morning, big shout out to you. Yeah. Shout out to every one of us who love Monday mornings. All right, it is not Monday. It is Wednesday, exactly 6 minutes past the hour of 10. Good morning, Lagos, Nigeria. Good morning, Asaba. Good morning, Uyo. Good morning, everyone outside Lagos, Nigeria. How are you doing? Hope you had a wonderful, beautiful night rest and hope your day is going fine as planned. Welcome to Nigeria's first real estate radio this beautiful Wednesday morning. Of course, this is the real estate market trend. What we do right here at the real estate market trend every morning, every Wednesday morning 10 a.m. is we bring to you informative, educative real estate conversations. Yes, we look into different happenings in the real estate industry. We bring them to the fore to inform you and give you the latest. We'll bring you abreast with happenings in the real estate industry. And we also, like I said, bring to you, we bring to the fore informative, educative conversation topics that would that is of importance to you. So do well to like, comment, and share so that everyone in your circle, everyone in your contact list will be part of this session this morning. You can also be part of the conversation via the WhatsApp platform and also via the comment section. Shout out to every one of you that has been a part of us from the very first day, even until this moment. Yes, we had a beautiful session on Monday. We had 3 wonderful sessions on Monday, and today we'll be having a wonderful, wonderful session today. Yes. Tell everyone that Cedarwood Luxury Radio is live. We are here for the real estate market trend. You are very much welcome. All right, if you are in any way on this afternoon, if you are looking for a platform where you can share your concerns, looking for a platform where you can talk, express yourself, say that which is really bothering to you. Say you want a platform, you want someone to talk to, someone you can, highly confidentially share your secrets. You need an advice. We have a session for you, and yes, that will be coming up by 4 p.m. And also by 1 p.m. this afternoon, we'll be having a repeat broadcast of one of our SOS School of Strategy episodes that we've had in time past. So do well to join us by 1 p.m. and also do well to join us by 4 p.m. as well for Open Mic Wednesday. Yes, Open Mic Wednesday is your platform. It is a platform given to you to express yourself, to say it as it is, to say that which bothers you, to say that which concerns you, to seek advice, to get inspired, to get motivated, to get someone to push you, to get, to just express yourself the way you want to. All right, yes, you're very much welcome once again to Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio. We are Nigeria's first real estate radio.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Michael Ahwetie. I'm the Managing Director of P1 Pro, and I want to encourage you to subscribe to Cedarwood Radio.
Hello listeners, you're here with your global multiple award-winning real estate celebrity, Honorable Dr. Balaji Osage Onolaja, PhD, FIPA, Nigerian Youth Role Model, and the CEO, P1 Atlantic Property Network Limited. Keep listening to Cedarwood Luxury Radio.
Hello viewers, I am Ambassador Dr. Julius Oyedemi, your most astounding CEO 2023 P1 Group. The best radio to listen to is no other than the Cedarwood Luxury Radio. Thank you.
Hello everybody, this is Vivian Imako, the ED, P1 Perfection Business Investments Limited, and you're listening to Cedarwood Luxury Radio. Keep it locked. God bless you.
This is Cedarwood Luxury Radio, Nigeria's first real estate radio.
Yes, we are Nigeria's first real estate radio. You can take that to the bank, take it to anywhere, and cash out millions with it. All right, this morning we want to begin. Want to look into something very important. Yes. What we do here every Wednesday morning is we bring to you informative conversation that would be that is of utmost, that is of importance, very, very great importance to you. So this morning we quickly want to talk about 15 factors to consider when selecting construction materials. And the aim of this discussion is to open our mind, is to inform us, is to educate us on the things we need to know, the things we need to consider, especially for those who want to buy houses. Not buy houses, those who want to build, yes. 15 factors to consider. This is not just for the buyers alone, this is also for the constructors as well, especially the newbies, those people who are new into the real estate business. So there are factors, there are things that you need to consider. While I was having a discussion with someone concerning the fact that there is so much collapse, there's so much sad news of collapsed buildings. And sometimes I get worried when I see some buildings, and in my mind, when I see some of these high-rise buildings, and I'd be like, oh my God, I just hope this building will not one day. At times you're especially those of you who stay in Lagos, you find yourself in some environment and you see some buildings and you begin to become scared of those living in that building. You begin to get scared of yourself even passing around that environment. You see some buildings that are not in good conditions, and you see people living there, and sometimes you begin to wonder, okay, how be it that you don't wake up one morning, you just hear so and so story building collapse here and there, and you're wondering what is going on, what is really, really happening. There are factors that are, responsible for buildings collapse. I remember one time it rained overnight, and the next morning, good enough, it was a bungalow building just right in front of right on the street where I live. I saw people gathered in a particular compound, and I asked what happened, and they said the house divided. The house divided. The backside of the house just went down, like it was like the divider. It was a demarcation, and good enough, luckily enough, there was no one in the house. You see some buildings, even with the way the walls are, you be like, you enter some apartments, you see cracks and all that. There are factors that are responsible for building collapse. There are factors responsible for some of our structures not being sustainable, not lasting long, not staying for as long as they ought to. And that is why I'm bringing this conversation to the table this morning. That's why I'm bringing this conversation to the fore. I want us to look together. Let us look together into 15, at least 15 major factors to consider when selecting construction materials. Yes, there are factors that we need to consider when selecting construction materials. All right, so if you're ready, I'm ready for the conversation this morning. A sound and good quality building material is essential for constructing structures with satisfactory strength. Take note of that word, satisfactory strength, durability, and serviceability. Satisfactory strength, durability, and serviceability. All right. It can also affect the project and maintenance cost into a large extent. Therefore, the selection of materials should be carried out carefully to fulfill the objectives of the design and specification documents. A wide range of construction materials is available in the market, and since several factors need to be considered for selection of materials, it can be difficult to choose the best option that serves the various requirements of the building. Strength, durability, local availability of materials, cost, handling, and storage are some of the essential factors that should be considered to select suitable construction materials for the given project. The first factor I want to highlight this morning, the first factor I want to look into this morning, the first factor I want to talk about this morning, to consider when selecting construction materials. And when I'm talking about construction materials, I'm not referring to houses alone. I'm not referring to markets alone. This includes the roads, our bridges, every and any kind of structure. And that is why I'm not even specifying this conversation to just building alone. Yes, it is profitable for the real estate industry and also outside the real estate industry. So every and anything that has to do with construction, construction of roads, construction of bridges, pedestrian bridges, churches, mosques, schools, hospitals, supermarkets, office spaces, and what have you. The first thing you should consider is strength. Somebody say after me, strength. Strength is the most important parameter in selecting construction materials. How many of you remember the story of one of the buildings that collapsed in Ikoyi and had about over 5 persons? I can't remember the specific number now. Over 5 persons. This is not a finished building. This is not a building that has been constructed and people are in it already. This is a building that is still under construction. And we've seen videos, funny videos, of people constructing buildings, and while in the process of constructing, it collapsed. My mind just took me back to one of the collapse of a structure that is still on construction, that is yet to be finished, that the construction is yet to be finished. So you can imagine what would have happened, the level of disaster How many of you also remembered a structure that was also that also collapsed some time ago somewhere around the Kotsun, a very popular church like that? Strength of the materials that you want to use for this construction. Cutting corners will not help. It will only help you to cut down costs, but at the end of the day, you will end up losing both your license, you end up losing lives and things that is not expected. Strength is the most important parameter, the most important out of all the factors we'll be looking this morning. Strength, because when you get it right in the area of strength, the strength of the materials you're using, once you've gotten that area correct, you've gotten it right, every other things will follow suit. Every other thing will follow suit. All right. So strength is the most important parameter in selecting construction materials. It demonstrates the ability of the materials to withstand stresses such as compression, tension, and shear. For instance, there are several steel grades and various yield strengths from which constructors can choose. So if the building does not have to bear large load steel grade can be used, which in this case can reduce the cost. Nonetheless, the availability of steel in the market will play a significant role here. So in as much as we need materials that are strong to stand stress, to withstand stresses such as compression, tension, and shear, the availability of these materials in the market will play a significant role as well. So I'm going to call out on all our importers and exporters, wholesalers, retailers that are into, the sales of construction of, that are into the sales of building materials, construction materials. Get the best, get the strongest, get the best. Let it be available. Our governments can also play a very important role in ensuring the customs services, institutions as well, should play very, very important role, very key role in ensuring the availability of materials, that are good enough, that are strong enough for construction. The next point this morning is durability. Somebody said durability. The durability of materials is important to construct a structure with a long lifespan without considerably maintenance cost. So certain materials may be more expensive than others, but low maintenance costs in the future will offset such heights. Durability is important. How durable are the materials? Because the durability of every and any construction material would determine the durability of any structure you are putting out there, you're putting up. The durability of the material. So you need to go for the best. You need to look for materials that are, durable, that would bring about a durable construction, a durable structure at the end of the day. The durability of materials is important to construct a structure with a long lifespan without considerably maintenance costs. Another point, another factor is cost. And I'm going to say something here. Most of the times, okay, let me just cite an instance. If you, for instance, you want to get, let me use phone. So I have two phones right in front of me, and let's just say both of them are of the same name, the same specification. Both phones are the same. Now I am seeing phone A in, let me not advertise for them, in XYZ mobile store. I'm seeing the same phone along the roadside inside one show glass. Now, phone A costs 200,000 in XYZ mobile store, and phone B, which is the same thing with phone A, costs 50,000 along the roadside inside the show glass. I know many of you will go for the one at the show glass. After all, is it not the same thing? It's the same thing. Everything is the same. It's the same. The cost. The cost of construction materials will, in most cases, lead to the final decision regarding material selection. Construction material costs comprise a large portion of the total cost, which is why it plays a critical role. Ultimately, it controls the entire cost of the project. All right, so the cost, what I'm trying to say here is you would rather go for the expensive ones than go for the lesser one. Because at the end of the day, we've got to discover that a wolf, cheap article, in the wrong belly, if you get what I'm saying. So, in as much as you want to consider the cost of the materials you are getting, in as much as you want to consider the total cost of the materials you are getting, you need to go for the best, irrespective of the cost. Irrespective of the cost. Don't settle for less. It's not good. At the end of the day, it's not good. You won't do you well. It won't do you well. Okay. The next point here this morning is locally available materials. All right. The availability of materials locally affects both the cost and the construction schedule. If materials are available far away from the construction site, the cost of transportation will be high, and it could also delay the work if they are not ordered in advance. However, if the materials are available locally, transportation costs will be low and construction process will continue seamlessly. So it is important you go for the locally available materials. Yes, you can go for the foreign materials. I know of someone who prefers to work with foreign materials. But at the end of the day, you need to compare and comprise. Just compare and see. Just compare between the locally available materials, and irrespective of either it is local or foreign, whichever way, ensure you are also going for the best. You are also going for the best. Handling and storage is another point I want to talk about this morning. Handling and storage of materials is another factor that must be considered because it affects construction time and a requirement for labor and equipment for handling, and also cost as well. So it is key you get materials that are easily handled, materials that are easily operated, materials that you can easily store, materials that can save time, materials that are easy. You would rather use a mixing machine than do your mixing on the floor. Sometimes you see people who are building, they have this machine they use in mixing, and then you see some other people doing the mixing by themselves. Mixing it on the floor, you see they pour the sand there, you open it, you pour water, you go and fetch water. So your materials, the materials you use are materials that would make construction easy, save it would, at the end of the day, save time. So handling and storage of materials is another factor that must be considered because it affects construction time, requirements for labor and equipment for handling, and also the cost as well. So the time, something that will take you 3 days might take you 1 week, 2 weeks. So it is key, of utmost importance as well, that you get materials that would save time, and also give you the required labor, the output, the required result that you need at the end of the day. Climate is another point this morning. Climate is another important factor that must be considered while choosing materials. Parameters such as average temperature range throughout the year, rain, snow, weather, amount of sunlight required, ventilation, and the wind are the areas of concern. All right. So the climate and the properties of building materials are related to each other. So the selected material should be according to the climate of the area where the structure will be built. So you don't just get any kind of material. Sometimes you need to consider the climate. Sometimes you need to consider, yes, you need to consider the climate. While choosing materials, parameters such as average temperature range throughout the year, rain, snow, weather, amount of sunlight, required ventilation, and wind are the areas of concern. So as you are getting your building materials, you are also considering the climate and how it affects the material you're about to get. You wouldn't get any material that would at the end of the day get affected by climate, by wind, by sun, by temperature, by snow, depending on where you are, by rain, by sunlight. You need to consider the required ventilation. So these are concerns these are things you need to consider when getting building material, construction materials. Required skills and availability. Yes. Required skills and availability. When construction materials are selected, the decision maker should know the extent of skills required to use that material. If skilled labor is needed, then it increases the cost of construction. Additionally, if skilled labor is unavailable, which is mostly the case in remote areas, it delays the construction work. Required skills and availability. So for every materials you are getting, every mechanism that you will be putting in place in construction of any structure, the required skills and availability of these skills is important. You need to put in place. So if you're getting a machine, if you're getting a robot, if you're getting anything, we want to build a bridge that will connect Mushi to Oshodi, and we're going to be using XYZ machines or tractors or whatever it is that would be needed to construct that level of to carry out that level of construction. The required skills, those who are the availability of the required skill, the availability of those who can handle some of these mechanisms, that some of these machines, some of these things. So the decision maker should know the extent of skills required to use that material. If skilled labor is needed, then it increases the cost of construction. Additionally, if skilled labor is unavailable, which is mostly the case in remote areas, it delays construction work. So this conversation is giving you the things you need to consider before carrying out any form of construction. Sustainability is another factor. But before then, let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Looking for a studio to run online radio shows, podcast series, record jingles? The Cedarwood Luxury Studio is highly equipped and available to give you the very best of studio experience.
Everybody, this is Vivian Imako, the ED, P1 Perfection Business Investments Limited, and you're listening to Cedarwood Luxury Radio. Keep it locked. God bless you.
This is Cedarwood Luxury Radio, Nigeria's first real estate radio.
All right, thank you very much. You're very much welcome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, we are looking this morning into 15 factors to consider when selecting construction materials, and we've talked about the fact that it is important we, look into some things. We consider some things before going into or before taking some major constructions. And we talked about the strength of the materials being used for that construction, the durability, which at the end of the day will determine how durable your construction would be. The cost, yes, the cost. You need to consider the cost of the materials that you are going for. You would rather get the ones that are, quite expensive than the less expensive ones, because at the end of the day, I've got to discover that when you buy the less expensive materials, you end up not getting a good result. So you just close your eye, you get something that is at least affordable, something that is that would give you a desired result at the end of the day. We also talked about locally available materials. You need to consider for the kind of construction you want to go into. Consider the materials that are available locally. If you need to, patronize the foreign markets to get the available materials needed for that construction, do that. You need to also, in as much as you're also going to do that, you're also going to look at, okay, so I want to build a school. What are the materials that are needed? Okay, I've looked into the strength of the materials. I've considered the durability. I've considered the cost. Now, in as much as I've made all these considerations, I'm also going to look around my community, my state, my country, look at the materials that are available for that kind of construction that I need. All right. If you can't get it around you, if you can't get it in your local environment, in your state, in your country, you can as well consider patronizing the foreign market as well. Handling and storage, you also need to consider materials that can be handled and easily stored. You don't want to store your bag of cement and come the next morning and discover that it has baked by itself. You don't want to store things that would at the end of the day get damaged or just get spoiled. You need to also get materials that are handled, that can be handled easily. Yes, you also need to consider the climate. Yes, the climate. As you get your materials, look for materials that are climate friendly. Yes, look for materials that are climate friendly. And when we talk about climate, we're talking about the average temperature range all throughout the year. We're looking at the rain, snow, the weather, the amount of sunlight, the required ventilation, and the wind of areas, and also the wind as well. So it is important you also consider climate even as you get materials for construction. Requires skills and availability. For every materials that you need are also skills that are needed as well. So you need to look for, get the required skills. If you don't have it yourself, get people that are skilled in that particular area, of handling any form of material you need for any form of construction. Sustainability is the next thing I want to talk about this beautiful morning. The need for sustainable development is continuously increasing due to the demand for reducing carbon emission. Applicable codes and standards are continuously setting stricter specifications regarding carbon release. This leads decision makers to lean towards sustainable materials like fly ash, groundnated blast furnace sludge, and silica fume, which are used to reduce cement utilization and reduce carbon dioxide emission. Sustainability is another thing you need to also consider. How sustainable. The need for sustainable development is continuously increasing due to the demand for reduction in carbon emission. So in as much as you want to go into any form of construction, you need materials that are sustainable. Materials that will not, at the end of the day, bring about some Pollution, environmental pollution. Applicable codes and standards are continuously setting stricter specifications regarding carbon release. So we don't want this, we don't want a situation where the environment will be messed up. So this should lead decision makers to lean towards sustainable materials like fly ash, groundnated blast furnace sludge, and silica fume, which are used to reduce cement utilization and reduce carbon dioxide emission. So you need to get materials that would not at the end of the day bring about an environmental hazard. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get. Recycling is another thing to consider this beautiful morning. The ability of materials to be recycled at the end of their lifespan play an important role, when they are selected. For instance, designers and developers should go for bottled steel connection types rather than wet connection steels. The former may require greater effort and accuracy to execute, but it is completely recyclable. However, the latter is hardly recyclable without releasing further carbon into the atmosphere. So you need to consider getting materials that are recyclable. The ability of materials to be recycled at the end of their lifespan play an important role when they are selected. So you don't want to get materials that you are not able to recycle at the end of the day. So in as much as you're making your decisions, you want to get materials that when you are done with them, you can recycle them. It can be used for something else. We have seen instances of some materials. Okay, let me just use, when you buy bags of cement, when you are done with the content in it, what happens to the bag? When you get some of these materials that are packaged, that comes in whichever way, when you are done with the content in it, what happens to the covering? What happens to the carton? What happens to the bags? What happens to so it's important you get materials that at the end of the day, you can recycle the end product of it. What happens to the remaining cement? What happens to the remaining stones, the remaining granites, the remaining sand? What happens to the remaining pans, the remaining materials? You can recycle some of these materials and use them for another purpose. So you should also consider recycling. You should also put recycling as a factor when getting, building materials, construction materials. The function of the building, yes. The function of the building is a very important factor, a very, very important factor to consider. The function of the building. I can take the next 1 hour to talk about this, but I'm not going to spend time on it. The function of the building can govern the choice of construction materials because it directly affects the occupants. The selected materials define the space which is being constructed. If the type of structure is load-bearing, you should select high-quality materials, bricks, since they are the primary load-carrying elements. So the function of the building determines the kind of material you are getting. You should select high-quality measuring bricks since they are primary load-carrying elements. So if you are building an event center, you know that the event center should be for what? Events only. You cannot come and build event center and be using it for another thing, for people to live. You cannot build an office space. You cannot build a school, a church. You cannot build a bridge. You cannot build roads, whatever construction it is, for a particular function, and then use it for another function. That is one side of the conversation. But what I'm trying to say here is the function of the building should determine the quality of the materials you are getting. The function of the building should determine the kind of material, the quality of material that you are getting. You don't want to build a house and you are using materials that is made for something lesser when it comes to how do I put this now to get it right? If you want to build a house, for instance, and you're using materials that is not meant for house building. You want to build road, you are using materials that is meant for building house. The kind of bricks, the quality of cement, the quality of materials you use differs depending on the kind of structure you are putting out there. So the function of the building considers what? It should, consider the quality of materials you're using. Aesthetic appearance is another point. The type of material, the type of material controls the appearance of the building. A specific appearance may be appealing to someone, but not attractive to others. So the owner's demand plays a significant role here, as they may have decided the type of appearance the building should have. For example, the type of material influences the floor's appearance. So the material should be selected to achieve the required appearance. Various materials are available for floors, such as granite, marble, vitrified tile, ceramic tiles, wood, and quarter stones. The cost of the material may limit the options, as the most appealing floor material may be the most expensive one. Aesthetic appearance is important. You get materials that will look beautiful. You cannot use a wall material. For instance, you want to tile the floor. You need to consider putting tiles that will not be slippery when it is wet. You can't use tiles meant for wall on the floor, or use tiles meant for floor on the wall. It would also tell on the appearance. Aesthetic appearance is also important. You need to consider what the appearance would, the materials and how it would affect the appearance. And this, goes from granite, marble, vitrified tiles, ceramic tiles, wood, and quarter stones, all those things. So the materials you're using would, at the end of the day, influence the appearance of your structure. Maintenance sometimes governs material selection, because not only will good quality material need low cost to maintain, but it keeps the aesthetic appearance of the building. So you need to get materials that would be maintainable, that is maintainable. You need to get materials that's, the maintenance would be easy. When it comes to maintenance, there would be ease at that point. Maintenance sometimes governs material selection, because it is not only good quality materials. What am I saying? Maintenance sometimes governs material selection, because not only will good quality material need low cost maintain, but keeps the aesthetic appearance of the building. Specification. All right, yes. Oh my God, this is interesting. Specifications are also an important material selection criterion. Material specification and quality are established for a given project based on required strength, aesthetic appearance, durability, and so forth. For instance, specifications may ask for a cement type to fight chloride and carbonation attacks if a structure is constructed in a tidal zone. In this case, additives and supplementary cementitious materials may be necessary. Specifications. So you need to specify. You need to specify the kind of materials you need depending on the kind of construction, the environment, and all that. You need to be specific when it comes to selection of the kind of material you want to use. Specifications are also very important material selection criterion that you need to consider when choosing construction materials. Guarantee, yes. Check and properly understand a product description. Check and check and properly understand a product description. I'll say it again. Check and properly understand a product description. Its technical specifications, terms and conditions of guarantee to ensure the right material selection. Sometimes what is understood by the material selector or presented by a salesperson can be misleading. Get guarantee. Check properly. Understand the product description, its technical specification, terms and conditions of guarantee to ensure the right material selection. So you need to understand the kind of material you're using, the guarantee, the terms and conditions. Understand how the product is being used. Check and properly understand the description of that product before choosing that particular construction material. Support and service after sales. Support and service after sales are important factors and should be considered while choosing materials. So check whether the seller provides support and service such as normal or annual repair spares and so forth. In conclusion, it is important that you note that the selection of correct construction material offers various benefits. For instance, meeting project standards and specifications, low maintenance costs, optimizing construction costs, smooth execution of the project, and so forth. So when embarking on your next project, it is expedient and of utmost importance, like I would always love to say, that you ensure the use of right construction materials, both in terms of quality and quantity. So as you are about to embark on your next project, consider support and service after sale of that particular material, that particular product, that particular company you want to patronize to supply you materials for construction. Check, consider support and service after sale. Check for guarantee. Get specifications. Check the maintenance of the materials you're getting and the maintenance level of the effect of the materials on your structure. The aesthetic appearance. Don't just get any material. Get materials that would give your structure a beautiful, a good-looking appearance. Consider the function of the building. The function of the building should help you consider the kind of materials you're getting. Recycling. Get materials that the end product at the end of the day is recyclable. Sustainability of the materials you are getting and how it would also affect the sustainability of your structure. Requires skills and availability is what you should also consider. Climate. Consider the climate and how it affects the materials you're getting and how it would affect the structure you want to put up. Handling and storage. Consider locally available materials as well. Consider the cost. Consider the durability. Consider the strength. Hope with these few points of mine, hope I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that it is of utmost importance that you get good quality building material, which at the end of the day is essential for construction of structures, whatsoever structures. And it will give you satisfactory strength, durability, servability, and aesthetic at the end of the day. Thank you very much. God bless you and see you all again. At this point, I'll draw the curtain till we meet again. God bless you and do have yourself a wonderful day.
I'm live here in Akwa Ibom State, precisely. Akwa Ibom State is the highest oil producing state in Nigeria. And here in Akwa Ibom State, we have a whole lot of road network. From here now to 5 minutes drive, now you will see the airport. In the last 10 years, this state was not like this. But Akwa Ibom State, we presently is a state, it's a city where good things are going to happen. So I advise my investors, this is the right time to invest. Don't miss this opportunity. Uyo is a mind-blowing city.
10, 15, 20 years ago is gone. Today is another day for investment. My name is Focus, the BDE P1 Plus Real Estate Company, owners of all Cedarwood Luxury Estate here in the city of Uyo. This way to Promised Land. Follow me.
It's actually a very nice place. This Promised Land, they have really done a lot. Seriously, this is my first time I'm experiencing a site that is already well fenced, demarcated. Wow, this is amazing. I'm so blessed to come into this Promised Land, and I believe everybody there should come and join me and benefit from this.
With all these features and amenities mentioned, we bring you Promised Land by Cedarwood. The price of this wonderful estate is 3.5 million naira. Title, freehold. As you all can see, the fencing have been completed. The plot demarcations have been completed. My smart investors, the right time to invest in this wonderful estate is now. Thank you and God bless you.